Hey, what's up, peeps? You're listening to the Let Loose with Lou podcast. I'm a full time working woman, mother of three, and a wifey to one lucky man. My passion is getting to know people, listening to their stories, and learning from their points of view on life. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Let Loose with Lou. I have my co-host, Steve. Hello, Steve.
What's up, Lou?
And I am so excited. I have my other co-host, Ryan. He's back,
Hey, everybody.
girls. So for all you girls that have been asking about Ryan, he's back and he has a lot of cheeseman for us, a lot of juicy gossip of, let's see, who he's been dating, how his divorce went, what's going on, what trips he has going on, a whole bunch of juicy gossip. Then we have here Cheryl, the beautiful Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. We're here to catch up and see how her relationship with Mark, hi Mark,
Yo, what's going on?
is going.
Good to be back.
Yes, it's great to have you guys
Yeah.
back. I am like really excited. So this has been one of our best episodes, and everyone has been asking like, how have you guys been? Are you guys still together? Is the sex still as hot and steamy as it was when you guys first got together? Like, you know, or we wanna know. Inquiring minds want to know.
All right. I mean, so that's what they're asking you. That's what they want to know.
Yes, they want to know everything. They want all the cheese, man, Mark.
That's crazy. I mean, I hate to put her out there like that. But I mean, ever since last time we were here, I mean, I don't want to say like insanely obsessed, but maybe a little like obsessed. Yeah.
Oh, she's become a little obsessed?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, Cheryl, what's going on? Are you becoming toxica?
Yeah, she was never like that, and she's becoming exactly that.
Is she
exactly
really?
that? Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Let's give us an example. Give us an example, please.
Yes, give us an example.
Oh no,
That's what I thought.
Like, she would never like maybe maybe a quick little small one. Like I'm not gonna say the crazy ones, but the crazy.
Well, you have to because you're letting loose with Lou. Give us a scenario.
Yeah, he can't. He doesn't have one.
Okay. She's calling you out, so now you got to tell
That's
us.
how you know this is not staged. We just we just started like out of nowhere in the wild.
He's so wild.
Let's see, maybe like for example, like she like I guess before she was in her obsession stage with me right now, like maybe I feel like she wouldn't call me to like when she's going to sleep. She feels like if I'm not there, it doesn't feel right. Like she gets a little like anxious and she's like,
Oh, she's getting attached.
That's a small one, but there's other obsession ways where I don't know. I have to keep drinking.
So are you sharing locations with her yet?
No,
we're
She
not.
tried
we're not
making me
that.
doing that though.
We
Get
are
out
not
of
doing
here.
that. No, I did not. I did not.
What is going
Did
on?
not.
What do
I
you
don't
think?
believe in that.
I want to back it up a little bit. I feel like Lou went in there just hot.
Big time.
Love it. Come on, man.
no,
We want.
no.
Hey, I'm giving the audience what they want to hear. They want the
you
cheese.
went, you went straight to it. There was
That's
no
right.
there was no hand holding. There was no
None.
There was no how are
There's
you.
no lube.
There was no lube. You just put it in.
Crazy.
He's all like it's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Look, I
at
see
that.
your
Damn.
style, Lou, but I want to warm them up a little bit.
All
How long you guys been doing the thing? How long you been dating each other?
She would know more.
How long? I want to know how long do you think?
To our viewers, you're supposed to know the answer to that question.
Yes.
Mark, that's
See,
right.
don't make me look bad like that, man. Come on,
No,
man.
let's
signed
see,
up.
Mark. Let's see how long.
It's just because she's usually more accurate. I want to say I'll be like a roughly kind of estimate. I want to say around like almost like 2 years and some change, almost 3.
Ooh.
2 years and some change.
Yeah.
So does
So-
that sound accurate?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the good and the bad so far, lovebirds?
Honestly,
He annoys the fuck out of me, actually, and I really think that helps us. I really do.
she never used to say.
Say
I
more about
annoy her,
that, Cheryl.
though. Mind
Say more
you.
about
Like
how
today,
the
for
annoyance.
example, he's late to everything.
Oh.
Like he cannot be on time, and for the life of him, he cannot. So I'm already accustomed to it, and I kind of just maybe I'll meet you there, which I don't like doing. But today, like he was, oh man, he pissed me off so much before we got here because he was taking his sweet time.
That's a role reversal right
ready.
there.
That's
Usually
what
it's
I'm
the man
talking
waiting for the woman.
Right?
We get so bored we go out and mow the lawn because we're like, man, I've been here for a half hour waiting. I'm
That's
like,
the
I better
thing.
go mow the lawn or do something.
She's not really waiting on me to get ready. She's really waiting on me. I'm doing a lot of other stuff. That's.
But I will say it's never dull.
Mhm.
There's always something.
So wait, I gotta
I
ask
wanna-
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go,
okay.
You go.
Let me ask one quick question.
thing.
So do you feel like you're babysitting him? Does it feel that way?
No, I wouldn't
No.
say babysitting.
Okay.
I really feel like he's very much the man
Yes.
in the relationship, and more so, I'm the baby. I want to say.
Oh man! Don't get me started on that.
I want to say I'm the baby, and he does a good job at I don't know, what would you
Babying you,
call babying me?
So give us an
putting up.
example.
Well, putting up. No, baby. What she's saying, babying is one of her personalities. So she has 12 other ones.
Oh, whoa.
So that's why.
And he didn't know that before, huh?
I didn't. So that's why I'm saying she's more obsessed now because
not
I'm seeing a
obsessed.
lot of different stuff that's coming thrown at me that I never seen before. I was like, all right, I kind of like it though. I like it.
It's a challenge.
Okay, so I got one for you guys. Last time that I was with you guys on the podcast here, you guys were separated, and then about halfway through the podcast, you guys started warming up to each other again, and I had to say, someone's getting lucky. Did you guys go knock boots that night or what?
Ooh,
Oh,
good
he
question.
Came in straight hot.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm
you
rolling
just
with this
said-
one. I had to ask because I mean, you know, I kind of called it, and I was like, yeah. I
Did you
think-
guys do the deed?
He's had it to
Yeah,
start.
everyday
like-
sense.
Nice, good for you.
Damn it. Damn.
Beat me
You're
to
letting
it.
it like that, Mark?
I guess.
That's why she's becoming toxica with you.
Yes.
Oh. See, I'm young. I don't know about this.
Might be doing too much.
Oh.
Might be doing too much.
What do you
So what I'm
have to slow
interested in
down.
like you get irritated.
And I didn't
And
before.
How much
I
does
wanna
the
say.
irritation translate to the passion? Like where you're like, "Ugh," and then that translates to, I just want him.
Probably 50%. I don't know.
50%.
Yeah, I don't know. I was never like that before. He'll say probably I'm different because before I was really, I don't know. And I don't want to say the real me came out because I don't think I have all these personalities like he says, but I feel like I put up with a lot, and because I guess it was newer, and then now it's just like I think
the
it's like-
infatuation has worn down.
yeah, but
Ah.
but we're still. I think we're going strong. We're a lot stronger than we were before,
Yes.
for sure.
For sure.
For
Yes.
sure. And I think it's a different level.
Mm-hmm.
Like we went to Joshua Tree, and I think that's what he'll say where our relationship changed. And he,
Oh,
What happened there? He said, "Oh,
I kind of forgot about that. Actually.
oh, okay."
But she has a point where she's coming from.
Okay.
Because at the time,
We got to speak a little louder right here.
at the time
Mhm.
when we went to that, there were. I don't believe in all this stuff like the little like witchcraft and not witchcraft, but like spiritual stuff.
Yes.
Rocks and stones and
Mhm.
smokes and all that. All that stuff. So I wasn't really like I know people believe in it and I'm not against it, but I never really seen anything happen for me to actually believe it. But they were doing all that stuff in this place called Joshua Tree. So, it put me on blast. I'm gonna put you guys on blast too. So we were doing this in this area or whatever, and ever since then, everybody loved each other.
So you guys did a love spell?
that's what he
I
would say.
guess, yeah.
Yeah.
They would never know what they did or what they, what it is.
What'd you guys do? Some peyote and go chase each other around naked in the desert, or what? I mean,
like that.
What? And she got you.
But
hooked.
when we came back, he was like,
Sex
I
is
feel
more like
different.
intense now, and everything is just crazy.
So it worked basically.
Could you put your finger on what changed? What really was it about that weekend or experience that changed you guys?
I feel like since then we have a different, I think, understanding of what our relationship is.
That, yeah. And the Power Couple title came out at one point, and we wanted to kind of do some, Power Couple, meaning like working out together, eating right, spending right, doing fun, having our fun, everything in organization. And I feel like that's kind of what we were on a roll with. We have our ups and downs and stuff, obviously, but it's always a good time ever since that. So
Mhm.
And I think we're both really supportive of each other in our goals and our career.
yeah.
So do
yeah.
you think he's matured a bit?
I think he's always been
Whoa,
mature.
Matured is
actually.
crazy. That's
Yeah?
crazy.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I feel like because he's an old soul. Like
yes.
he,
Well, we talked about
and
that.
I said this last time. Like when I was his age, I was out partying. I was out, and he's not the type to want to do that.
There you
So,
go, making me look like a
no,
lame-o
well,
again.
here and there, right? But like, I think his idea of fun is different than what a lot of 25-year-old
Ah.
maybe I don't
So
know.
just
What you think?
oh, okay. So just so the viewers remember, he's 25. There's a what
That's
gap?
a lot of years. Yeah,
19 or 20?
18.
Oh
Well,
damn.
no, not that much.
No, Johnny was 20.
Johnny's 20. Yeah.
18.
An 18-year gap.
18.
How's that been? What's that like
Yeah.
to date younger, to date older? Like what should people know about that experience? Not everybody's had that experience. Some want to have that experience. Some people want to know about that.
I feel like it's more common these days for women to date older men, and I see it a lot like on social media. And I see a lot of celebrities doing it as well. And I remember hearing that they were saying that in their DMs, it's just all younger guys just kind of trying to shoot their shot.
Is it younger or older? Because you said
Well, a lot of older women are getting younger men in
Gotcha,
their
gotcha.
DMs,
Yes.
trying to shoot their shot because times are different these days. I feel like so much more than they were before.
Yes.
But I think because I think we're similar in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
We like the same food, we listen to the same music, we like the same things. We're Regal members and we go to the movies a lot. That's cute. Tell them I'm gonna put you on blast. We're Regal members.
Yeah, hell yeah,
No,
Regal members for sure, because Regal is a theater that has recliners, and I'm really big on that when I go to the movie theater.
All right. Do you guys hear that? Regal.
We're not.
And-
I mean, if they're gonna shout, make us,
Right?
Motive.
They need some nice recliners.
No, but we like to do the
Mhm.
same things, and I think we have a lot in common, and
Yeah.
that's maybe not true for a lot of
At
couples.
one point, we were calling each other twin and stuff because it was crazy how it would be a different food where I really love it, and she'd be like, "Wow, that's something I really like," and it was just every time we go somewhere, be the same thing. So we're very alike.
You guys are very.
Did that surprise you, like in the age difference of like, I'm surprised how many common points we have. Did it surprise you or not necessarily?
I think so, but I also think that I think I tend to, I don't want to say I have a young soul, but I think I relate
Mhm.
to younger people, and I don't really see age. Like I said in the last episode, I didn't know how old he was when I met him. Obviously, he looks younger,
Mhm.
but people don't necessarily think I'm my age either. And so I think I don't know. We just got along so well from the beginning.
Yeah, you mesh well.
Hmm
Yes, and that's a good thing.
How did you guys meet?
Oh, it was on my birthday, and it was
She
a
fell in love the first
no,
time. and stuff.
no. Let's be real, Mark. Tell him.
I wasn't really texting her like that, and every day she would tell me, "Have a nice day."
We said
Have
this.
a good
We
day.
went back to the receipts. Remember, after the show or sometime after we went. I don't have the all the text messages, but he does. We
Yeah.
went all the way back to the beginning, and what happened? It was you.
No,
Yes.
no.
But we met on my birthday. It was my cousin was dating one of his friends, and they all came to my birthday dinner. And I, when I first met you, I didn't really think anything. And then it was only until my friend Chloe kind of mentioned something at the end, and she was like, "Aren't you gonna give her a birthday kiss?" And then from then on, it was
Ooh, it was magic.
Mm.
From there on. Okay.
Yeah,
Look at that. Look at Mark's smile.
I guess.
He's all excited. He's all happy. Well, something's
Yeah.
right because you're smiling.
It's because that story right there is like it's like an all-time classic story where it's something we both remember, and she's very forgetful of a lot of stuff, so she always remembers that, and I feel like it's special.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
who's obsessed now.
Ooh, who's toxico?
You
So you wanted it right away, like when you were there, you were like, I like her.
at that night? Not really, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't like. I liked her for at the moment we're talking to her and stuff. To be honest with you, it was like a whole group of friends with
Mhm.
her girls, and
So you weren't looking.
my friend that was dating her cousin.
Mhm.
I'm like I guess one of his closest friends, and he invited me, and we were with two other guy friends, and we went, and it was basically a group of friends. So everybody kind of had to already kind of shift over to one to just pick one because it just makes sense. Makes more sense
I mean, no, you didn't have to, but
because everybody's talking. Your friends are not gonna wait there all weird, so my friends are gonna talk to them, and just to kind of. Anyway, so she was the one that was my pick or whatever, only because my friend said something about, oh, the girl he's talking to was kind of mentioned something about her saying something about me. She's saying she doesn't remember this, but she's saying something about me. So I was like, okay, so obviously I'm gonna shoot my shot with this one versus all of them.
Because you thought I was interested.
Yes.
Come to
So
find out, what? What did we find out after that?
I don't know. You said you don't recall all of that, and whatever. We can go back and we can. So.
We're gonna
It
have
doesn't
to,
matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter now.
the point is that we're here, and
That's what I'm saying. I think we fight like old married people.
it's
though.
so funny. I'm like,
We
ping
like-
pong.
This-
We're all like,
Steve is like, what the heck is going on?
Ryan, what's
I
going
don't
through?
know.
your
I
head?
haven't seen anything thrown. I haven't heard
No.
any cussing yet. You guys have behaved yourselves well. I don't know about old married couples, but yeah.
What's the hardest fight that you guys have had so far? Have you guys had
Again, another
serious-
obsession moment. I was coming home kind of a little late sometimes, and
So you guys are living together now.
yes,
You
Ooh.
guys moved in
I
with
guess.
each other.
If you want to call it that,
Mm,
kind of.
kinda. Only when you behave.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's
that's a yes.
It's yes.
So you guys are boyfriend girlfriend?
You can say that,
Mhm.
but like I feel like it's overrated. I want to kind of keep it like where that title is not there, but basically everything under the sun that comes with it.
Okay, so let me ask
Sarah,
you.
does that mean that you're committed to her?
I know. I just yes.
Okay,
But
'cause
the
I
reason
was-
why I don't sorry to cut you
No,
off.
no,
The
that's
reason
okay.
why I don't want to say title of boyfriend girlfriend. I have like a phobia of that, like because I've had like trauma and stuff. But that's why I keep it like that. But at the same time,
So what kind of trauma have you had?
Lou, let's not go all there. Let's not go
Well,
there.
no, because I mean, okay, so you don't want the title as a girlfriend, but if some guy comes by and says, "Hey there, hot chick," like,
But-
I'm gonna make you my girlfriend.
No, don't get me
Oh.
wrong. She's still gonna be my
Mhm.
girlfriend, all that.
Mhm.
But I never told her like, "Would you be my girlfriend?"
Oh.
All like, I would never did all that.
Mhm.
So that's why that title's not there. But obviously, she knows better. She knows she's not single. I have a boyfriend. That's her response to everybody. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I think you should do it now.
I think so too. But Solomon, you're right. I say you do it now
Get it over
on
with.
YouTube. Get it over.
Yeah.
with.
Whoa!
Let's do it.
That's what
Let's
he's talking about.
Yeah,
I thought he was
do it
saying
now.
cutting the video.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, I'm saying, I think we're all saying like you sleeping over.
Yeah, and you said it's
You're
already
committed.
acknowledged.
It
Why
makes
not?
sense. It makes sense. Like I said, I am gonna pull the trigger, and I was very close on Valentine's, but
What better time than now?
Well, we're not asking you to.
What's keeping you from
To
doing
propose.
I
Oh.
don't think it's that special right now. I don't have nothing like you know what I'm saying. I need a
that?
little.
What stops you from doing that?
As of right now, this moment, or just in general?
In general,
I just said I have like a phobia from it. I'm kind of like.
are you open to talking about what the phobia is?
As far as maybe like feeling trapped, as like claustrophobic, like
Mm.
not in a bad way, but like it just like I said, I've had trauma past with other relationships, so I feel like look, I don't know, I'm just not ready. I guess not ready to call it a relationship, but like I said, everything else under the sun. So
Oh, okay. So this is kind of like, what do they say? What do they say? What's that saying? You're milking the cow for free without purchase. What? There's a saying like
Free
something like
milk.
that, right?
Based on free milk.
Wait,
Yeah, you're getting
Uh,
free milk with basically.
so how do you?
What do you
feel?
what do you think, Cheryl? What comes up for you?
I mean, I think I've always been on the side like I never pushed it either, and I don't think I want necessarily that title either.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's
So
not.
that's
you're
another
okay
thing
with it.
too.
Yeah.
She kind of threw that out there at one point. and-
Oh, that's interesting. So you're it's
Okay.
one of your common areas. You both like the idea of not having a
don't-
title like that.
Not necessarily. Go ahead.
No, I would agree. No, well, because I would never push. I don't know. We've just never really had that. I think we've always kind of known that we have a relationship like that,
Mhm.
but yet we never had the title. And I'm 100% okay with that. Like, I don't need the title. I don't need him to ask me. I'm a grown
Says
woman.
that right now, but
No.
all her other
When they
friends-
said that, what popped into my head was Jerry Maguire, and I can't remember what Cuba Gooding Jr. said, but he
Solomon?
was Solomon. You remember?
I mean, show me the money or what?
No, not the show me the money part, but when he was with the chick with the kid, and gosh, I can't remember what the term he used. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, he used it. Oh.
With
Yeah,
the-
Cuba Gooding Jr. used it,
Oh,
referring to Jerry Maguire about
right.
sleeping with the chick.
I'll look it up. If I find it, I'll
Yeah.
I'll
Anyways,
scream it out.
it popped into my head, and I'm
Okay.
like, I want to say it, but I can't.
Oh,
So what do you guys want out of your relationship? Sounds like you guys are enjoying yourselves. Like, what do you guys want out of the whole thing? Sounds like it's here to stay.
Well, yes, for now. I think we take it like day by day, week by week, because obviously, as we said in the first one, right? Mark wants to get married and have kids one
Mhm.
day. That's not what I want to do. So we
Mm.
have different plans. And as a lot of people will say, like, why are you quote unquote wasting your time then? And I think we look at it a little bit differently, and we see it as we're just gonna take it day by day and have as much fun as we can
Yeah.
while we still have each other in each other's lives, because it's
Okay.
not permanent.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have kids yourself?
I do. I have 2 girls.
Okay, so you've already done like
I've
that.
been married. Yeah, I have
You've
children.
done that whole thing. You have not. You
have
want
not.
that one day. You're like, I've done this.
And we've did
So
talk
makes your
about that.
relationship sort of
Yeah.
interesting.
Are your kids still at home?
One is.
One is.
Mhm.
Is that awkward? When
No, I think.
Okay.
Well, she's a
Not there every
teenager,
day.
so I feel like she has her days, good days. But when I'm not there, she's definitely a lot nicer than when I'm there. But no, they get along well.
What do you think?
As far as getting along.
Yeah.
I
how much of an
guess.
age difference is it between
Well,
your
she's
daughter?
14.
Okay, so okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
there's a big gap there. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then your oldest is,
26.
and you are.
Mark.
I know you are, Mark. But
I'm
how old are
25.
you, Mark? 25.
Yeah.
Oh wait, 25.
Yeah, no, he'll be 26 in a couple months.
So, and your oldest daughter is
26.
I
oh,
didn't want to say my age, Lou.
Mark. He's all like, so he's in between both the children.
Well, yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's why. That's probably.
But my oldest daughter as well, she's okay with it. I mean, she doesn't, they don't.
Yeah.
My mom, like,
Yeah.
he'll go out to lunch with my family, and everybody's like, everyone's
Yes.
like,
And
calm on
how about vice versa? Because I know that we spoke last time about how do your parents feel now about it? Like,
Honestly, like I said, kind of last time, they see me as I'm grown enough to make my own choices.
mhm.
They do want to see me married, and they've been pushing me because, like I said, they're a little bit older, so they want to see me
Oh,
married before it's too late and all that stuff. So,
got it.
um,
Were you just having too much fun?
lately they've been pushing me for it. I know, I know. Lately, lately they've been pushing me to get married and stuff, but I'm just not ready for all that. So,
And you're not willing to just give him a child, or
No.
Okay,
No.
all right.
I'm
He's
so-
like,
she made
so
said she
upset.
said no.
Yeah.
okay.
So it's interesting because there is an end date to this. But
Okay, that's interesting to know. Thank you. Right? Okay, viewers.
Ryan's like,
There
"Ooh."
will be
I gave up kids
a
for my
season
marriage, and it-
finale. to
You
this
sure
will
relationship.
be a
I did. I
season
gave up
finale.
kids
Yes.
to marry
Yes.
who my
And this-
ex-wife, and
Yes, and
I-
that's sad because you,
yeah, it was a big
Ryan-
part of me, and I that hurt. So I
Yes.
raised 3 stepkids from the
Yes.
time they were in elementary school, and then when everything's said and done, they're all out of the house. Then she just took the money and run. So
can you believe that?
it was
Steve?
pretty brutal.
Can you
Ryan,
believe that?
I missed that first part. Ryan, can you say that again? I only caught the second half.
Of
I heard
I
you
raised her
say-
3 kids from
I
the
didn't-
time they were in elementary school. And so in doing so, when we first, when we were dating and when we were engaged and when we first got married, we were going to have kids. And then as soon as we got married, she pulled the plug on that and said no. So it's a hard decision. It's like, do I just pull the plug on this and just get an annulment? Do I get a divorce? It probably would have been the best financial thing I could have ever done. But again, you fall in love with the kids, you fall in love with the family and things like that too.
Like he wanted
Um,
children, and then in the marriage, once he was already in love with the kids and happy, she just
Yank that away.
pulled the
Yeah.
plug.
What do you mean pull the plug? Like divorced?
No,
like,
Or
that
just-
wasn't
no
until
children.
like years
Okay,
later,
she
13
said no,
years
she
later.
just said no, Ryan. I don't want to have any more children.
Yeah.
After you were kind of legally bound.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. Yeah,
That
I'm
bit.
still it
In
just
hindsight,
is
Ryan,
whatever.
do you think that was manipulated, or do you think that was?
I think the whole thing was manipulated. I think that she
She
had an
knew that
agenda. I
once-
think she had a financial agenda, and I think she had,
Oh, she raped him.
financially.
Yeah.
So you're the
And
primary. You're the
emotionally,
primary
too.
breadwinner.
Yeah, emotionally too. Yeah, I mean, the last 2 years of our marriage, there was no intimacy. Period. We
Yeah.
lived in separate bedrooms for the last 8 months of the marriage.
Mm.
So I mean, there was no communication, and it was right after my dad passed, so that really
Can
wrecked
you
me. So
imagine? Like you're already vulnerable. You're like, emotionally distraught, and then here she comes.
but after you
That's messed
it,
up.
it takes time though after something like that, because it is devastating. It does wreck you. But I think that after you process, and after again, I had to finish grieving about my father and his passing, and then I had to not necessarily grieve over my marriage, because it was more bitterness on what just got yanked away. And there's a lot of betrayal in that too, because I mean, I gave up children of my own, a lot of things
That's a
to
huge
financially
yes.
support these kids. And yeah, and I love my stepkids. My stepson just moved. I mean, he lived with me up until December when I sold my house. So that was, and he was over at the house today. So I see him a lot. And then the middle daughter, Chris, I see a lot. Taylor lives in Utah. So I don't get to see her much, but
But you maintain relationships with the 3
absolutely,
kids.
I raised these kids.
Okay.
Isn't that
I mean,
something?
everything from elementary school on, I was involved in everything with them.
Wow.
So it's, but giving that up was still hard, but I've always treated them like my own, and, it'll always be that way. But I will say that after all of that's dealt with, because it takes some time, and us men process things differently than you women do. So
Interesting.
there's stages. Like you punish yourself for a little bit, and then you really separate from everything and everyone for a little bit. And once you start processing things correctly, and you get your mind straight, and you start focusing on where you're at and what you're doing and where you're going, and it all kind of falls into place.
When you say that you separate, are you saying like emotionally, physically, all
Yeah.
of the
So I mean,
above?
2 years we went through that divorce. I mean, 2 years prior to the divorce starting, we hadn't had. I mean, I hadn't had sex, and then even after the divorce went on for 2 years, so that was almost 4 years. And I've
You're
only
celibate?
I've dated no I did I've dated
He's all
two
about.
girls since. One wasn't for very long. It was like maybe a month. She got real kind of flaky, um, and that was that. It was fun, and it was needed, I guess. But I don't do well with flaky. I don't operate that well
You like
with that.
consistency,
Yeah, well, I like honesty, and I like
loyalty.
straightforward, and it's like I'm not chasing anything anymore. I'm not going out of my way to chase anything. If it happens, it happens. It's going to be easy, and I'm at a stage where I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with, how do you say, chasing your hand around the house, playing hard to get. No, I'm being facetious about that.
I
But
know you are.
no, but it's
It's kicking it.
it's I want to be right with
Yes.
me
Yes.
before I get into a relationship. Those are hard enough in and of themselves, and I had things I had to sort out.
Yes.
And I still have a little bit of bitterness about the divorce.
Can I
I'm
ask you
still
a question
processing.
about that?
Yeah.
I have an idea about a few things. Let's see how it goes.
All right.
I like what you said. Like men process differently. I was thinking as you saying that, I was like thinking about a man's perspective, but I'm also interested in a woman's perspective. So I'm gonna try things a couple different ways.
All right, let's do this.
This
You
is
know?
when I kind of start breaking it down.
All right, break it down. Break it down.
Did you in hindsight identify red flags of a manipulative woman or like a dishonest woman, or was that really not present to you?
I ignored it, and I ignored not only the red flags. My friends and family were like, "What the hell?" There's red flags.
Can
Her own family even said, "Oh, dude."
Can I ask a question?
What did you identify? What red flags did you see that you ignored?
Oh, she had filet mignon taste on a hamburger budget, and she had credit card spending problems. That was, I mean, I probably say about $380,000 of credit cards I paid off in 18 years. That's a shit ton of credit card debt from Nordstrom's. And Macy's and other things, which again, I try not to talk about the financial things because I got blindsided. But every time I'd start weeding it out, and I'd be like, oh, I almost got this paid. I just get blindsided. Here's another credit card. I mean, they just keep sending them. And the mail comes when I'm at work. So,
would she manipulate you with sex?
oh yeah.
Okay, so that's what it was.
Oh well, it was that and other things too. And she had.
But you fell prey to that, like she was sexually powerful, and you just said okay, and like
No, I think that I'm a traditional man, and I took my vow seriously. And even though I saw batshit crazy, and I'm made a vow till death do us part, and I'm going to be that traditional man. And I'm going to uphold it no matter how miserable I am about it. And so I stuck with it. She filed, and I went, oh, thank God. Okay. There's a joke.
so you identified her financial problem. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that part of that was dishonesty and secrecy, like that she was
Yeah,
like
and-
probably
and-
making promises, or
And
like
I think the
hiding,
dishonesty
spending.
and secrecy wasn't just financially, too. I think she was a little shady on the side, too.
What other things did you kind of, in hindsight, think probably she was doing that were dishonest?
Well, I mean, one, she was abusive. Like, I mean, she put hands on me, which is
Whoa,
no. So
physically?
yeah. There was a lot of issues in this relationship. And again, once we were married, it was like I took that vow serious and I stayed with that. And both my parents have both been divorced, and I went, you know what? I don't want to put the kids through it. Don't want to put the family through it. Well, I ended up not putting us through it. She ended up putting us through it. So it is what it is. Now we get to the grass is greener. Yeah.
Has the grass been greener?
Why is divorce so expensive? Because it's worth it.
Oh, listen to him.
No, I can joke about it now.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I really can. And looking back, it's hard to regret anything because it makes you who you are, and it makes you all that trials and tribulations just makes you better. Usually, it destroys some people, but not many. I mean, it usually makes you a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit. It pushes you to get to know yourself better and your limitations. And why did I not see the red flags? And like I said, I dated one of my buddy's neighbors for a few months, and it was like red flags, red flags, red flags. And then she got flaky, and I was just like, cold turkey, I'm out.
Good for you.
No, nothing. And I guess they call it ghosting. And
The new.
I just was like,
Ghosting.
I'm gone. And it went both ways. She didn't text or anything. It was just, she flaked, and I just said, done. And then I think maybe 4 or 5 months later, she called and she's like, I just want to apologize. I'm like, there's nothing to apologize for. We're having fun. We're adults. It is what it is.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
it.
Bye, Felicia. Yeah, it's we're adults, and you chose to do what you did. I figured it was another dude, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
There was no commitment.
yeah, exactly. And I never had that talk. And so, yeah. And then I just recently started dating someone else, and that's been
It's turning.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But it's got its challenges too, because she lives up north.
Oh, where'd you
How'd
meet
you meet
her?
her?
Through my same buddy who hooked me up with
Yes.
his neighbor. Just friends. And so she's about a year younger than me.
Okay. It's
And so we kind of hit it off, and she was up for a few weeks, and we spent 3 or 4 days just hanging out and having fun.
How?
and-
What kind of fun?
Oh, I was chasing around the house naked.
Oh, all right. For all those single
No, I-
ladies out
I-
there asking for Ryan, he likes to chase women naked.
I'm still kidding, but
I wasn't.
yeah. So no, we had fun. We enjoyed each other, and then she lives just outside of Oakland, and then I realized I hadn't gone snowboarding last season because the divorce stuff, and then I went, gosh, it's almost end of the season this year. So she likes to snowboard, she likes to surf, and I'm like,
Wow.
that was one of the things I gave up in my marriage was I was sponsored in surfing in college, and
Wow.
I was pretty decent at it. Not good enough to make money at it, but enough to get a bunch
Good
of free
enough.
surfboards and free stuff.
Awesome.
But throughout the marriage, it became an issue. So I gave that up and quit for about 6 years. So now I'm back in the water. I'm
There you
starting
go.
to focus, like I said, focus on me and
Yes.
getting to where I need to be.
Yes.
But I booked us 5 nights up in Mammoth. So we leave on
Wow.
Tuesday.
How exciting,
So it'll
huh?
be really fun.
That is
Does she
gonna
have
be fun.
kids?
She has no kids.
Mm.
Possibly future kids if it works out.
We talked about that a little bit, and I think we're both at the stage where there's so much risk when you're later in years, and for Down syndrome and
Right.
for special needs kids. And then who wants to be the 70-year-old dad at a ballpark saying, "Hey, whose grandpa are you?" "Oh, no, that's my kid." And then again, in the industry we're in, we breathe a lot of toxic stuff. So, I mean, might be lucky to make it to 70 with all the cancer and crap that goes down on the waterfront. So it's like one of those things like, yeah, good life insurance, but then your kid's 20 years old or 21 years old and then has, missing a parent
Yeah.
could be kind of tough. So we really talked about it and thought about it, and, which is really weird too, because we just kind of started dating, and it's been, like I said, it's been really, really fun, and we really have a good time together. So,
That's awesome. You guys can travel, not worry about having any other worries.
yeah. So, yeah, and she's in tech up there. So,
She could.
Be
What?
mobile?
Mobile, right?
yeah, and so she gets
Oh.
time away, and so yeah, it was
Okay.
kind of fun. We had, like I said, it's
Well, it seems like the
open
grass has
horizons.
gotten greener for him.
Seems like the grass is definitely greener.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not. I'm not miserable anymore. I got a smile on my face.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's good, and it's actually good to have an adult relationship that is not only give and take, but it's mutual respect and not, there's no manipulation, there's no guilt,
It's
there's no,
organic.
yeah, and there's not the drama, there's not the, um, yeah, and again, it's new, so it's fun, and
Sounds like a better caliber woman.
absolutely, hands down.
And like you said earlier, I'm still kind of biting down on like these lessons learned. Like you learned a lot. Like you said, you have like your scars that inform experience from your previous relationship. Um, One of the things I was thinking about, something I work on in my profession and in my own life, is like helping a man discover and find terms. And it's like one of the things that you're describing is like you permitted a woman to be dishonest, deceptive, manipulative, overspend, be secretive, surrender a sport that you love, that you were good at, right? And when you do too much of that, you lose yourself, or you can get your ass whooped.
Yeah, very easy.
And then to hear you kind of start to say like, I can't do that again, is a very important, right? Like you're part of what
Brings
makes,
himself back.
yeah, and better,
Yes.
right? Because in the worst of situations, like a person can go into very deep depression because they've sold out their personal terms or their
Yes.
morality, right? They don't know who they are when they look in the
Yeah,
mirror.
'cause
It
he's
can be,
trying to
can
make
be very
someone
bad. I don't know. I would let you answer how far it went, but like the point I want to make is that in the topic of grass is greener, part of the reason why it's greener is you're kind of saying in different words, like, I will have an honest relationship, I will not
Yes.
have a manipulative relationship. These are terms that are not negotiable. If I want to surf or go down the mountain, I'm going to do that, and you're either going to be into it or not. But because I know what happens if I bend on
absolutely.
those areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what happens is that it seems like that kind of musculature is now kind of in you from having gotten a $1 million lesson, or however much it costs you to
It was about
divorce,
that,
is
and it's ongoing too.
you will find yourself more respectful of yourself, and then a woman will find herself more attractive, and the caliber of woman that will find you will be greater. And it sounds like this woman is more mature and lets you be who you are, and you don't have to like figure shit out.
She has goals,
know? I don't know if I'm bestowing upon her too many good qualities, but it sounds like there's
No,
good,
no,
there's good stuff going here.
I think that it definitely makes you think about what you're choosing. Because I mean, let's be honest, it's a lot easier for you girls to get guys than it is for us to get
That's
girls.
not true.
It is true that the older we get, our kind of we it gets easier as we get older a little bit, but we
So-
really got to work at it.
So so this is no, because I have a group of girls, right? Half the girls are not in relationships. And if they're not on these sites trying to find dates, they've given up organically trying to find dates or relationships. But it's hard for them. They said that these men have like standards or guys or whatever they want to call it, but a man, you could be 70 and you could attract a 30-year-old woman. Like
There is that.
it's happened. But you can't be a 70-year-old woman and attract a 30-year-old kid. I mean, unless you're freaking
Rich.
rich, exactly. But otherwise, it's just not realistic. It's not realistic for the man. It is just not for the woman.
Well, I think that I've heard the term used that men grow value as they grow older, and not to say that necessarily women lose value, but most of the time, a man as he gets older, he's already set in his career, he's already set in his
Like a
things.
bottle of wine.
He starts aging gracefully
Exactly.
and brings more value to the table.
Exactly.
So those younger girls that are looking for that security, that and let's be honest, us men, we really mature a lot later than you girls to begin with.
Absolutely, I
But
agree.
when we finally do get it together and start making those steps, I think that it does attract younger girls as well.
Well, of course, especially girls that are young, want to have fun, that don't have careers, and I mean, think about it, right? I mean, that's an easy meal all the way through.
Yeah.
I mean, just be realistic.
But
I want to hear the women talk about that subject. Like one of the things I wanted to hear you guys talk about is I have seen women who genuinely marry for love, and I've seen women genuinely marry for security. They'll forego love because they know they're going to have security. And then women who obviously will do both, right? So I'm curious to know.
Well, you already know how
And
I feel about marriage.
I have a sense of what you were gonna say.
Okay.
But I was like, I imagine, like, I don't know, like, do you think like your ex married for security? Do you think she married for love, or like the subject of like women?
Well, I was casual when we met, and within the first few months of meeting, I became an ID. So yeah, my lifestyle and career just really started off. So I became a full-time worker, but she also had friends that were in the industry, so she knew where it was headed. And
So she already saw cha-ching.
yeah, and then once I became a foreman, it was like
Oh,
she
yeah.
just waited just long enough, and then it was ruthless, but it is what it is. You know what? Wish her happiness.
Yeah.
I really do, because I don't think she's happy with herself. I think that's something that
Absolutely.
I can look myself in the mirror and I'm fine with it. There's always going to be things you're not proud of in any relationship, especially when you argue and things like that. But it's all building blocks, and I'm not
Totally.
going to subject myself to the same craziness ever again. That's just that ship sailed.
Well, never say never.
Well, I didn't say I
But-
would never get
yes.
married,
Yes.
but I said I would not subject myself.
Yes,
Like
yes.
there is an adamant, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? There's that line that is drawn in the sand now, and it is absolutely nope, I'm out.
For me, I'm at second marriage. And I've spoken about this. Steve knows. Like I feel like my marriage is like I treat my marriage like a contract, like a business. That's just personally me. And I firmly believe that like I'm not in love with the person. And I know it sounds horrible, but it's not in a fact that, for an example, I feel like when you are in love with the person, I feel like you lose who you are. You lose self-control of your mind, your soul, your lifestyle. And then when you become lost, it's just everything just breaks and crumbles down. So how I felt is this is how I see it. I think that I would love 50 years into my marriage have fallen in love with the person than to have been in love from the beginning. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I just feel like it, and to me, a marriage is like a contract, because like a business, you have to work at it. There's good days, there's bad days, there's times where you want to give up, and depending on the situation, you decide if it's really worth fighting for, right? It's like a business. Do you want to close the doors or not? Is it the time or isn't it? So that's how I feel. And we've talked about this before. I, you know,
It's not untrue. I mean, like looking at the grass is greener, right? Like there's green on being single. There's green in like having more casual relationships. There's green having long-term committed relationships. There's green in marriage. And I think part of the grass is greener of marriage is when it's really cooking, it can have that love present where you are in love and your love is developing.
yes.
And it does have the quality of a business,
And
right?
it,
Like you
yes,
want to know that your business partner, if you will, is going to show up early and leave late and like wipe down the
exactly.
counters and take stock and
Or it's
trade
going to
of what's
rob you for
working and
everything
not
that
working
you've
and
worked hard for.
like
Yeah,
do an honest accounting,
exactly.
and like
And it doesn't mean necessarily that you don't love the person. You love the person for who they are.
Yeah.
You love that person for who they are and how they treat you and what they do for you. But being in love, the definition is so much greater and so much different. It's so depth. And I believe that true love is when you get there at the end of those years and you could turn around and say, God damn, we've been together for how many years and we've survived and gone through all this. Like, this is real love.
Well,
This
and
is,
I think a lot of people call it love when it's infatuation. It's that beginning stages of infatuation where you're just addicted to that person, and that's fine. But I think a lot of people commonly call that love.
and
I
do
view love differently,
yes.
like you.
they
It is
do
it
that.
Yes.
is something that you
Yes.
again
You have to earn
and marriage vows, things like that. That's something that you take to heart, and that's a part of your character, right?
absolutely.
When someone breaks that, it's devastating.
It is.
But
Yes.
it is also something that you build from.
Exactly. And building it, I think it's the reward, right? Building it after all the years to be able to say, God damn, like I am in love with you. Like, I'm in love with you. We went through all this. We've gotten to where we're at now. Yeah, there's always that infatuation. And I always tell, my friends, don't get that confused. That's not true love. Your relationship right now with this guy, oh, it's gonna be good and dandy, oh, whoopie doo. But once you really get into it, that's where you know if it counts or if it isn't, if it's real or it's not. There's too much. There's a lot of factors to it.
I wish people knew that because infatuation really is it's pheromone release. It's
Absolutely.
biology. I like the way
Yes.
this person smells. They're gorgeous. I like the sex. It's all this like chemical,
Everything.
and that can last like about 2 years sometimes.
Yes.
Typically not that long, but it can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It can.
And before love really enters,
Yes. When the reality hits,
right?
and then you're like, motherfucker.
But I'll tell you what's cool about love. I'm a married man, right? So I'm on that side of the fence. Is what's cool about love is I have this woman that we have good and bad days,
Yeah,
and like
absolutely.
we've been through the meat grinder, we've been through like shitty things together, and we
Mhm.
made it to her side to know that like she really loves me and I really love
Yes.
her. It's a fantastic feeling of like togetherness and pride.
Security, yes.
Security, we get to put our
Loyalty.
energy and money and like love and into making a life, and
Mhm.
we get to make a life, and not in a cheesy way, but like learning like I get to become love itself, right? I
Mhm.
get to not just ask for her to be this particular way and give me all the kind of cash and prizes and all the love and all the kind of sweet nothings, but I get to become the thing, right?
Mhm.
It's also
And
selfless
she
too.
becomes the
Mhm.
thing, and
Which
Yes.
yeah.
it's marvelous.
Do you guys have kids?
We have a daughter. I have a young daughter,
Mhm.
and then we get to show her that, like she gets to be on the ride, and hopefully what we show her is something mostly healthy.
And wonderful, and then she'll carry on as she gets older. But I read this where oh my God, I read where there's this a girl who said, where did my parents um fall out of love? And she was like, showing pictures of when they were first together, and the parents were all giggly and all happy and hugging and loving. And as the years went by, they were like from here to here to here to here to just like, let's take a picture, like, all right, take it. And one thing that I did notice in a couple of these stories was, did this happen once the children were born? Because if you notice, when you're in a marriage, it's the two of you, right? The pheromones are going, you're in love, you're doing everything together, you guys are in sync. And then here comes this child, and then the woman is now taking care of that baby. It's like, okay, you're secondary. This is what I have to deal with. And so is the man feeling like, let me ask you guys a question. Would you feel neglected? Did you feel neglected when your wife was taking care of the child, your daughter?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad that I got training on that. And because if I had not, I think I would have been in a category that a lot of men fall into, which is
Neglect.
neglect, and then
See?
it turns into divorce. I think one of the things
Exactly.
I don't want
Yeah.
to I don't want to miss out on is like one of the things that Ryan said. I think is really important is people don't know the difference between infatuation and
They
love.
don't. They don't.
Right? They think it's starting to feel different,
Mhm.
and that's because it is feeling different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And if you don't have that skill or connection to be like, okay, like now I'm meeting this person's quirks, and like I've heard them fart, and like all the stuff that happens, right? Like then like you're not ready. Like you're not ready. Like if you can handle infatuation, great, enjoy yourself. But like if you can't handle like the next
The
parts of
real
it,
stuff,
then
like
you're
the nitty gritty.
you're not ready
Yeah.
for the big time yet, which is
Mhm.
fine. But like, because that is where a breakup will happen, and then for sure
Exactly.
the birth of the first
Yes.
child,
Especially
a
if
lot of couples can go.
totally. And especially if you've been married for over, let's just say over 5, 6, 7 years, right? You're doing everything with your wife. You're her number one. She is serving you dinner. Here you go. She's feeding you basically. And the men are like, oh my God, like this is great. And then here comes this, feed yourself. Serve yourself. And
Well, it's more than that. I think really like what I've discovered, like professionally and personally, is the birth of the first child's a big deal,
mm-hmm.
right? And what really does happen is the mother instinct turns on, and it's necessary, and that woman bonds to this like very
Mm-hmm.
100% dependent life form,
That's
and
it.
needs to like feed it from her breast, and like
Mm-hmm.
knows it in a way that we do not. She's had this 9-month head start that we don't have. We're like catching up. It takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And she really goes in there, and the man, he's chopped liver.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some women who I've heard like they never really kind of come back from that.
Yeah.
They kind of fall in love with the child, and they never really return.
That's how.
But
That's
but
how
they're a lot.
relationships
I think a
go.
lot of them, and they do,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think fortunately for me, I had a lot of like healthy men behind me saying like, look, broski, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need to relax yourself. Like, don't take
Mhm.
this personal. Um, and I did take it personal. The truth is, like, I took it personal. I was like, I feel really like so secondary.
Yeah.
But I had a
The
lot of
audacity.
not
Yeah.
not that. I mean, I don't know if I would say audacity. It was just like
I mean,
the situation demanded that.
Well, you're
Like
not connect. You
my
don't
wife
connect
you
as
did.
much.
disconnect.
My wife
Yeah.
did the
Yes, you
correct things.
disconnect.
And then her body's in a different place. Her body is like not in this place for romance and
It's not as
intimacy and
sexy.
sex. And
Yes.
that took many months
Mark's
to
like,
that took many
oh.
months to return. And I had to like kind of figure it out. And I'm glad that I did.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
it wasn't all like, you know, candy canes and unicorns.
No.
Right? Like, there was some some like bitterness and some like arguing with myself in the shower about this and that.
Yeah.
But like that's life, man. That's how it goes.
Yes.
And I'm grateful that I got a great wife and a great kid.
At the end of the day, it's worth
Beautiful.
it. Yes.
Fantastic.
And then, so I have a question for you, Cheryl. With your first marriage, right? You've only had one marriage, correct?
Right.
Okay. How did that divorce happen? What happened there? Where did you guys fall out of love?
Well, we were really young. So I got married at 21
Mhm.
and we already had a child.
Mhm.
So I think that's the main reason why we got married. He wanted to join the military. And so I was going to follow him.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I thought it was the right thing to do at the time. And then we were together since middle school, but
Wow.
got divorced 2 years after we got married.
Ooh.
And then after that, I was in a 14-year relationship where we never got married.
Okay.
Mm.
Wow. That's interesting. So do you think having the children is where it stemmed, or
She was too young.
I really
you
think
both
I
think
think I was too young. And I think that
Mm.
I really do believe that paper changes things. I really do.
yes.
How did it
But I
change
still
it?
believe in marriage.
Yes.
Like I will probably one day get married again.
Mhm.
How do I think it changes?
Yeah, how did the paper change?
I think it's more like a business contract, like you mentioned,
Mhm.
and I think at that time, that's what it started becoming. And I'm all
It
about
becomes
love, and
real,
I'm
right?
romantic, and I want to have
Yeah.
lived that fairy tale. So it was different for me.
I
Like
think it's I feel like once that paper is like signed, it's like a whole different beast.
it is.
So which
It's-
personality is that did the contract signing?
It's literally
I
yeah,
don't
that's
have
what
all
I'm
these
saying.
personalities. It's just that I've noticed that as I've gotten older,
Mhm.
my hormones are different.
Oh yeah, the girl. I'll be calling you for that.
No,
episode.
and I've always been real chill, real laid back, but now like a week before my period, I'm a bitch.
Ooh.
And he knows like, oh, and a lot of my friends are the same way. I don't know what it is, but that's what he talks about personalities. It's not.
Study
No,
about
no, no.
menopause and premenopause.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
looking into
That's what we're
it
gonna
right now.
Study
we're gonna talk
about it.
that next.
Yeah.
It will help.
Yeah.
I've been
It'll
looking
just give you
into it.
information.
Another thing
Information
is, like-
good about your hormones and being
Yes.
able to regulate
Like
them.
weight gain. Like I've gained weight since the last time, but one thing
Hello.
I told my friends is that one thing I'm really upset about him, which I guess most women will like, is that he's very supportive. Like he still thinks I look good. He still thinks at whatever. He's like, oh no, you look good. But I'm like, no, I need to lose weight.
Yes.
And I need you to be supportive in that
Yes.
sense, But
But it's hard, isn't it? Like I know that I
so much
struggle.
harder.
I'm
Careful what you
struggling.
ask for.
Yeah.
Chase it around the house naked. It's good exercise.
Ooh.
I was actually, when you said that, I was thinking about that.
Oh.
It's good exercise.
Get a little cardio in before the actual cardio.
Oh, look at
Hey, Ryan,
He's
I have
blushing.
a question for
Yeah.
you.
Go ahead, Solomon.
When you said like you stayed with it, for the time you stayed with it, do you regret that?
That's a trick question, actually. Yeah, no, I do regret it in ways, and I don't regret it in other ways. I think that again, that my honor, integrity, and character were bound to the commitment I made and the vows that I made, and whatever that may be. Do I regret that I didn't get divorced 9 years instead of 13? Yeah, because now I got to pay her for life instead of half the time of the marriage. So California is a cruel bitch when it comes to
Right.
divorce.
Ugh.
Okay.
It really is. So after 10 years, it's long term. Now she's playing the game. She showed up with crutches, showed up with
Oh, my
something on her arm. She went and had a boob job on all these things. And it was like, and she ran off with a lot of money too. So and the judge at the end of the day they just hammer you. The guy just gets, whoever makes the most money gets hammered, and it's
Ugh.
typically the guy. But yeah, I regret not doing it before the 10-year mark, which was right when I made Foreman, actually.
Wow.
So I had considered it, and I had to really think like, well, I made the commitment. I'm going to honor it.
So your morals were like for bad and good and for health and what's
I-
that for? I don't even know the vows.
I believed
part.
I believed it in the biblical
You did.
sense.
Yes,
There you go.
Yes.
For rich or for poor,
Poor.
that vow I took serious, and it
Are you religious, Ryan?
a little bit, but not overly. I mean, I went to a Bible college. I went to Biola out in La Mirada, so yeah. I mean, I think that I'm very well rounded in religious things and religion in a whole. But I not one that typically will talk about it or
But
push
your
it on.
values
I don't
are
push it
there.
on anyone. It's my core values, and it's
Yes.
just who I am.
Yes.
And I think I think that I try to make that show in just the way that I do things and live. Unfortunately, my marriage was just, again, it was a train wreck. But it's behind me, right? And I can sit and go, well, it is good that I learned something valuable, not what not to do again, but learned about myself and said, well, how did I fall into that? how did I ignore this?
Mm.
What was it that did that? And it's a very painful, expensive lesson, but it's something that has changed me for the better,
Yeah.
right? And I can hold my head up high and not worry about anything else.
But even though it's made you better, are you now like guarded? Like, like always like apprehensive, like, oh my God, is this person going to be like, is this girl going to be like that? Or,
I wear my emotions on my sleeve. You've known me long enough.
Yes.
When I'm hot, I'm hot. You know it
Yes.
right away. I can't hide it.
You cannot hide it.
I can't one bit.
You can't.
And oh yeah. And working down on the waterfront, I'd say the biggest guilt down there is I've over the years I cuss a lot now. In that
No.
yeah.
Get out of here. What's your favorite word?
I don't know.
Feud.
But I've become a little crass
Yes.
on the waterfront, and so that's something that I'm conscious about that I'm working on.
Mhm.
But in and of a whole, I mean, I'm actually happy where I'm at. I'm not happy I had to sell my house. I'm not happy about all the other things, but I'm like, I could be living in a van down by the river and be happy right now.
Yeah.
And with a smile on my face, it's the material stuff is just
Totally.
crap.
Yeah.
You can't take it with you. You
Exactly.
can't do anything with
And
it.
you'll rebuild
You can have a lot
it.
of fun with it,
Yeah.
but I mean,
And you will rebuild it.
yeah, and I'm not too worried about that. But I'm more focused now on like just finding the right partner if I'm dating, but I'm also strong enough to be single and be okay with that. Like I don't need someone in my life. I don't have to have that. Is it like right now? It's great. I have someone that's just really fun to be with, and we're really getting to know each other. I love that infatuation, right?
Mhm.
That attraction, that just raw,
Fun.
it is. It's exciting.
Chemistry.
It's fun. It's and getting to know ins and outs, and but again, that fades, in time. Some people are lucky and they have that a lot longer than others,
Mhm.
and then some people are really, really lucky where they love spending time with their wife or doing things with them. They can't, and genuinely enjoy each other's company, and that's a hard thing for I
That's
think a lot
very
of
hard to
couples.
find.
Especially after the kids are gone, this and that. I mean, Chris Rock said it. He said, women, dogs, and children are loved unconditionally. Men are loved only on the condition that they provide something.
Oh, interesting. What do you think about that?
There's a lot of truth in that.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
Agreed.
It was a solid
truth.
thing.
Yeah.
I love when comedians hit something about truth.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss
Well,
that,
makes the
and I
joke- the
think I
joke
dropped this
funny.
last time. Robin Williams. He said, a couple wise things, which was divorce is kind of like ripping your testicles out right through your wallet.
Steve.
Man.
I got a kick out of that one.
That was
He was
good.
a funny,
yeah,
funny
it's like,
guy.
oh,
But yeah, when you comedians hit truth
Yeah.
and stuff, and
totally, because they feel the pain.
yeah, but they turn it into laughter and they turn it into joke,
Absolutely.
which brings joy to people. Some people get offended by it, but I laugh my butt off. It's great.
I think it's great. I miss all the good old comedians. Not the way it used to be back in the days.
No, definitely not.
No, we grew up in the generation of Benny Hill.
Benny Hill.
And yeah, there was all kinds of funny stuff back then. And yeah, now it's
Yeah.
do that kind of stuff.
It's been a fun one, hasn't it?
It has been such a great one. I am like really excited about this one. I'm happy. I'm really happy you guys are doing good. Ryan, the grass is greener for you. I can't wait to hear some more. And just, a little FYI, there's a couple of ladies that have been asking. So slip into his DM, ladies.
What's his, you have to tell them what it is.
What
Or you're gonna,
his Insta? Well,
It'll be on the screen.
It'll be on the screen. Yes. Thank you, Solomon.
Thank you,
Let's
Solomon.
hook him up. Let's hook the brother up. Thank you guys very much
we'll be back for the
having
season
us.
finale.
I know. We'll be back with the season finale. What do you
Wait.
think?
I'm up for a season finale.
We're doing it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had a great time listening to all our stories. You guys have a wonderful day or evening. Thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, liked, or followed, do so at Let Loose with Lou.
Let loose with Lou and leave a comment.
There we go. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
That's all for today. thank you for watching and listening. It truly means the world to me. If you enjoy the show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe at Let Loose with Lou on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.